The avalanche. One day, Paxton was at the quarry waiting for his trucks. The job took a long time. "I'm going to be late," said Paxton. "Please hurry up, Mavis," he said. But Mavis already arrived. She trundled in with Paxton's quarry trucks full of stones. "Sorry to keep you waiting," said Mavis. "The points were broken, so I had to take a shortcut to make it a little bit quicker," she said. "Oh, that's all right," said Paxton. "Goodbye, Mavis." "Goodbye," said Mavis, and Mavis was off. And Paxton was ready. When he was out of the quarry, he went under Boulder Mountain Tunnel and out. When he arrived there, he saw a man on his line. "What's the matter now?" he complained. "What's the matter now?" he complained. "Heavy snowdrifts are damaging the track," reported the man, "so I marked this spot." "We'll go and check," said Paxton's driver. And so Paxton did. "It would be slippy for heavy engines like Murdoch," agreed the driver and fireman, "but for Paxton it's safe enough." The man put up a sign to the damaged track to warn engines. "When we get to the yards, we will tell them to close the line." And with that, Paxton was off in a flash. Night came, and Murdoch was waiting anxiously for Paxton. And then Paxton arrived. "You're late," he said. "You're late," he said, "You're late," he said, "and I don't like it." "It's the points," said Paxton. "They were jammed, and there's danger on the rails." "You'll be danger on the rails," said Murdoch. "Now stop wasting time and get your trucks hitched to my trucks." And then Paxton was on with it. Paxton's trucks were coupled to Murdoch's trucks, and with that, Murdoch puffed out of the yard. He hurried along the line. He went past by Wellsworth Station, and then he went through the docks. He went past by Donald and Torindo Just. When he arrived at the line, Murdoch didn't know that he was far away in a cloud of snow rain. Fog covered the island. "I can't see a thing," said Murdoch. His driver couldn't see anything as well. He arrived at Boulder Mountain, and there was Thumper doing some late work, like drilling. Drilling Boulder Mountain was late work for Thumper, and he was getting cold. He drilled so much that rocks began to fall onto the track. Murdoch didn't know this. Then, the damaged track and the sign fell into the ravine below. Murdoch had no way out. "What's going on?" he said. His driver looked up. "An avalanche is coming!" he shouted, and there was. "Murdoch, pull back!" "Pull back, Murdoch," said his driver and fireman. "I don't care if there's an avalanche," said Murdoch. But his driver was right. The avalanche arrived. Thick snow crashed into Murdoch and it buried him inside. And it buried Thumper inside too. The slate fell down, and the slate from Murdoch's first truck was gone. Then 3 trucks began to tumble down into different ways. And then the clay, the stones, and the clay, the rubble, stones, rocks and slates were lost. And poor Murdoch was snowed under. When the snow rain was over and the track was mended as well, Murdoch was digged out of the snow. Murdoch tried to move, but he couldn't, so his driver and fireman went for help. Murdoch was all alone, but not for long. The Fat Controller sent Mighty Mac and Luke to help him. Then Luke and Mighty Mac were ready. Then they took Murdoch home together. Murdoch came back to the sheds quietly that evening. The others had already heard about his avalanche that day, but Murdoch didn't want to talk about it. He closed his eyes and went to sleep. Then Murdoch never spoke a word. The engines were both relieved. Maybe he'll go to sleep about it again, said Thwaddy. Or, for the first time ever, said Rusty. I don't think he'll want to know, said Oliver. Let's go to sleep too. And with that, the engines were asleep. Murdoch pretended that he hadn't heard.